Okay, let's see if this thing's working. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Just gotta check and make sure that all the audio is working. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm freaking pumped. Looking good. Okay, great. That's great. And you can hear me, right? You guys can hear me? Oh, dude, I have been dreaming of this moment for such a long time. Just been working on this new course for you guys for literally like 7 months since November. Uh, so yeah, it's been a long time coming. I'm gonna play a little thing in Ableton really quick just to make sure that the audio is coming through. I'm just gonna play kick loop really quick. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Let me know if you guys can hear those kicks. Can you? Is that coming through? I just want to make sure before we get into Ableton and stuff that we'll be good to go and everyone can hear that. You can hear that? All right, great. Oh my goodness. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. Where are you guys? Where are you guys coming in from, by the way? What's the story there? Are you guys where are you guys based out of? I'm curious to know like where in the world you guys are tuning in from. Yeah, I'm just freaking hyped. Freaking hyped. Germany, no way. Finland, no way. This is crazy. Literally everywhere that you guys just listed, Germany, Finland, and London, I was just in all three of those places a year ago. Wow, we got some people from Japan, the Midwest, Colorado. That's awesome. Czech. Wow, that's a long way away. We got St. Louis, Missouri, New Orleans, Nagaland. Wow, a fan from China. Dude, this is so crazy. Oh my gosh. Of course, Brazil. We gotta get Brazil in there. Come to Brazil. Yeah, I loved Germany when I was there. Wow, this is wild. We got people like just down the road in SoCal, Italy, France, um, near the border of Nepal and India. That's incredible. Whew. All right, we are gonna get started in 3 minutes, and we got someone from Florida. Shout out Florida, baby. I'm glad that you guys can hear everything properly. Dude, I just have so much energy. I can't even like contain my excitement. I had a coffee and now I'm about halfway through a Celsius and I feel like I'm about to explode. Wow, Peru and Norway. Let's go. That's incredible. Um, yeah. So, hopefully some of you guys want to learn how to make dance music. That's what I'm going to be teaching you how to do in the next few minutes here. I'll just wait another 2 minutes so that I start, right when I said I was going to start because I don't want to throw people off. I want to give everyone a chance to join. And then I have I made a presentation. I made it like an actual presentation because I don't want to waste your guys' time. And I think it's going to be super exciting. I'll just wait a couple more minutes here. I'm freaking pumped. We got Italy in the house. We got India love. Man, I have a couple of friends from, wow, we have Nigeria in the house. That's awesome. I have some friends from India and I just love them. They're incredible. Love my friends from India. And Shropshire. Shropshire. That's hard to say, but that's awesome. Hello from America, by the way. That's where I am, based in California. Shout out to the Philippines. We got Onslaught. That's so cool that you're a fan of Candyland. I'm actually going to talk a bit about like my story with Candyland and stuff, so definitely stay tuned for that. We got Bengali in the house over here. Montreal. Oh my gosh. I love Montreal so much. I'm not going to lie. It's one of my favorite places. I just love all of Canada so much. And things are going great in Cali. Thanks for asking. Seriously. Couldn't be more stoked for this. We're going to start in about 30 seconds. The stream will be available for replay. I'm not sure for how long, but I'm definitely going to leave it up for a little bit. And Shropshire, England. Okay. Dude, I love England so much. And hello from South America, or South Africa, sorry. But we did see some people from Brazil before, so shout out to South Africa. I have some South African friends who I love so much. So, yes. Yes, I'm glad that you caught me, Luca, live, because I am just about to officially start, and we'll get into everything. And we have a quick question. Does having a MIDI make more sense long term? If you mean a MIDI controller, I think, yeah, absolutely. It's a great idea to have one of those. Okay. Let me go ahead and adjust the brightness on this really quick. All right. Just making it slightly darker. I'm a little overexposed. Let's see how that looks in the live. Yeah, that looks better. More cinematic, right? That's what everyone's going for, cinematic. Wow, I just want to say chat is like blowing up right now. I am freaking pumped. This is awesome. Brayden, I will get to the course and everything in a little bit, but first I just want to tell a little bit of my story and get into just teaching you guys a bit on Ableton and just show you actually that it's not that hard to make dance music, because a lot of people just think that it's way harder than it actually is. Okay. Jonas, thank you for stopping by. And yeah, you guys can totally ask questions. I'm going to check the chat throughout the live, and I'll respond as much as I can. I probably won't be able to get to every single thing because I honestly didn't anticipate this many people being this active in the chat. I'm like, oh, this is incredible. But yeah, I'll do the absolute best I can for that, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and get this all squared away, and we can get started with my story. So basically what I want to do is I just want to tell you guys, how to make music. And I want to do it hopefully in a way where you're inspired and you actually learn something and believe that you can make music too. So yeah, I just want to honor your guys' time. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started right away. And I will keep checking the chat whenever I can. And just right before I start, wow. Yes, thank you guys so much for all those kind comments in the chat. I really appreciate that. So, just clearing my throat. Let me get a little water. This live stream is sponsored by Perrier. It's not really, but if you got a Perrier Connect out there, I love the water. So, reach out to me for a sponsor. First thing I want to mention is that if you guys have failed at producing EDM in the past, it's not your fault. The reality is there's just a lot of information out there, and it can be super confusing to navigate. And so a lot of times it's actually the information overload that keeps you from success in that arena. So if you've been worried or concerned in the past, I just want to address that right away and say that it's okay, take a deep breath. The reality is you can do this. You just need the right person to walk you through everything. So let me tell you how this training is going to go for all you guys who showed up. Seriously, so much love for you guys. Thank you for supporting me. It really means a lot. The first thing I'm going to do is give you guys a really quick rundown of how I got started and how I got to where I am today. And I know a lot of you guys, or I know that I've had a lot of success sort of in the music industry, but I used to be horrible at making music, and it took me so much time and effort to get my music to sound good enough to pass the cringe test. I don't know if some of you guys are struggling with that, maybe, where your music is still kind of cringe. You maybe there's a couple people that you'll share it with, but overall you're kind of embarrassed by it. So I used to be that way too. Took me a while to get past it, but I'm well past it now. And after my story, I'm going to get into exactly how you guys can make high quality dance music in Ableton. So I'm going to jump in and show you guys live in real time, and we're going to build a song out together. And yeah, it's super easy. So if that sounds like something that you're into, then stick around. And then after I've packed as much value as I can for you guys into it's probably going to be about 30 or 40 minutes. I'm going to give you guys an exclusive offer after that for those of you guys who want to go beyond this webinar, this free training, and dive into something more extensive, which is my program, EDM Producer Pro. So after that, I'm going to ask questions, or I'm going to answer questions. I'll do a Q&A, an FAQ for you guys at the end so we can really connect, and hopefully I can get all your questions answered, and then we'll wrap it up. So does that sound good? You guys on board? Everyone on board? I'm reading the chat now. Looks like people are down. I'm glad you guys like Perrier. Yeah, but that's awesome. Okay, sounds like you guys are down. So let's get started with the training. So I'm going to tell you guys a bit of my story. For those of you that don't know, I used to be a broke college student with no real direction in life. I'm sure some of you guys can identify with that. The thing is, like, I really wanted to make music, and I wanted to be like my inspirations at the time, which was like Deadmau5 and Skrillex and Madeon and Tiesto, Flux Pavilion, Porter Robinson, all these artists I was like obsessed with. And I had kind of dabbled around in songwriting and a bit of recording, but it wasn't too serious. And the thing is, like, I really wanted to create music that people actually wanted to listen to. And I dreamed that maybe someday I would even get to perform those songs for people live and have shows where people actually came to see me. But my music was not good enough for people to take it seriously. I don't know, maybe some of you guys have like this dream of making good music and playing it live, but your music isn't good enough yet, or you feel that way. That's exactly where I was at. And I felt terrible because I didn't know why my music sounded cheap and it sounded amateur, and I didn't know how to make it sound better. Yeah, I felt even worse because I didn't really have anything else I wanted to pursue. Like, nothing was able to make me come alive like music did. So I would, sit down to try to do like a math assignment for class, and I couldn't focus for more than like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, but I could sit down and work on a song for like hours and hours at a time. Like, this was the thing that made me come alive. And it was so frustrating because I didn't know how to improve at it. And on top of that, I felt like a loser in my family because all my siblings had degrees, they had dependable jobs, and here I was just like barely getting by in school and spending all my free time just trying to make music. And the problem was that I didn't have anyone to teach me how to produce music, and I didn't have a system for making songs. Like, I didn't know how to improve, and I had motivation to keep going and trying on my own, but almost nobody around me understood what I was trying to do. It was very misunderstood. People were like, my dad was like, just get a real job, find what your real job is. He's like, you can do music, but do it as a hobby. And I was like, you don't get it, you don't understand. And on top of all that, I had the immediate problem of having no source of reliable income. I wasn't able to make money, and especially not doing music. So unfortunately for me, that meant I had to stop spending time making music and find a way to make money. So yeah, to do that, I had a bunch of different jobs. I truly hated all of them. I worked construction, I remember. I had to wake up so early every day and just work all day. It got me in great shape physically, but it was just killing me on the inside. I worked at a bookstore. I did graveyard shift carpentry at a mall. And yeah, instead of doing something that, was supposed to make me come alive, I was doing stuff that was killing me inside because I had to make ends meet. I'm sure some of you guys, you really want to do music, but you you have a job that you have to work to, and the job is just killing you inside. So that's where I was at. But things started to kind of change when I started spending more time with my friend Josie. And what she would do is she was a DJ, or she was just getting into DJing, and she would DJ and I would play drums because I played drums. And so she would DJ and I would play drums with her, and we would just jam out. We were trying to be Travis Barker from Blink-182 and DJ AM, like the dynamic duo. And it wasn't just that I was playing drums along with her, but it was that she was showing me all this new music. This like right when dance music was really starting to get a lot of momentum in the US. I think it was around 2010. And I was just like, yo, what is this stuff? Like, I heard Ghosts and Stuff by Deadmau5. I was like, bro, this is insane. It's so good. So yeah, from these little DJ drummer jam sessions, I discovered like a whole subset of artists who made all their own music. Like, they wrote the music, they produced it, they mixed it, they mastered it all themselves. They did everything on their own. And they didn't need a label. They didn't need a team of engineers telling them what to do or anything like that. They could do it all on their own. And that was when it was like, that was my aha moment of like, this is clear to me that it's possible for my dreams to actually come true. In terms of making music, I knew that like if I made music that was at a certain quality and that I could actually have a career as an artist, and I could potentially make music for a living. Because before I thought I had to like go to music school or that I needed a big studio to record in. But the reality is there was tons of people right in front of me who didn't go to music school and didn't have a huge studio or anything like that, who were putting music out and just killing it. So I knew exactly what I had to do to get the attention that I needed to make a living from my music, or at least, give myself a shot at doing what I actually loved for a living. All I had to do was just do what they were doing, right? I'm not saying like copy them or rip them off, but more like implement their song structure, their production styles into my music so that I could sound more professional and relevant. It's kind of like looking at colors someone used in a painting that you really like and using those same colors in your painting, or using the same brushes or the same canvas or something like that. But yeah, this is like a big belief shift, because I started believing that maybe I can actually make pro level dance music, and I had a new goal and a new inspiration, and it was like the fire inside me had been lit again. And it sounds kind of silly to say, but like I had butterflies all the time. I remember just like sitting there throughout the day, even at like my construction jobs, just picturing me playing live shows, DJing, making dance music. It was like, I had butterflies all the time, because I had a new direction to move in. And I knew that this direction was like working for other people. And I knew that if my music was at the same quality as theirs, then there was no reason why I couldn't be successful like them. And if they did it all on their own, then so could I. So yeah, I just kind of left this tape playing in my head of like what my life would be like if I could make music just like the music that I was so inspired by. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Everyone with me so far? You guys doing okay? Yeah, just checking the chat real quick. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that you guys could like the stream. Yeah, like the stream if you want. Yeah, I'm going to leave this video up for a little bit. I know some of you guys aren't going to be able to make it through the whole thing, but yeah, if you stick with me, there's a discount that I'm going to give for the people watching live. So just something to consider. All that to say, I was just spending hours every night playing around in Ableton, trying to sound like my favorite artists. What else are you going to do when you're that inspired? Then I got a pair of used speakers. I got a pair of used Rockets, and I'd put them on my dresser because I didn't have anywhere else to put them in my room. And the situation was like so far from ideal. I was living at my dad's, and I could work on the speakers when he wasn't home. But as soon as he got home, like I couldn't work on the speakers because it would just drive him crazy. And then I would just have to work on my headphones and sit, in my room alone. And yeah, I just want to say, sorry, I keep burping. I had a bunch of Perrier. But if you guys like have a situation at home where you can't work on speakers, you have to be quiet, you kind of almost have to like hide. I was totally there too. And I feel you on that one for sure. But yeah, while I was busy working on music, my music partner, Josie, she was doing a little research on record labels that might be looking for the type of music that I was making. And she found a label that she thought we should send some music to. So after a lot of overthinking and just going over a ton of different versions of this one song that I was working on, we finally ended up submitting it to the label. We thought it'd be a good fit for us. And a week went by and just crickets. Like, I didn't hear anything. I was like, no, like all my efforts have gone to waste. I've worked harder than I've ever worked on this song. And as more time went by, hopelessness just began to grow into me, right? It was just getting bigger and bigger. And I just heard my parents' voices in my head. They're like, what are you going to do for a real job? Like, you're a loser. I'm just kidding. My parents didn't ever call me a loser. But they were like, music is not a real thing. You can't make a living off music in the real world. And after what seemed like forever, waiting for this label to get back, something finally happened. And that was that I got a phone call. And it was Josie. It was Josie on the other line. She was like, Ethan, we got a response from the label saying that they want to sign the song that we sent. And they want to sign a second song so we can release it as an EP. And I was just like, just like in shock. She went on telling me, she's like, you know how this works, right? She's like, once you release music, then you get to tour to promote it. She's like, you know that BMW you've always wanted? Like, you're going to finally be able to get it. And like, we were so naive at the time. Like, BMWs are so expensive. And we signed the first song and the next song as an EP for like $1,500, which, is something. It's not nothing, but it's not nearly enough to buy a BMW. But it was more than enough to get me hooked. I was like, it made me realize two things in that moment. The first thing is, I can actually make money doing music. I'm like, maybe this can be a living if I make the right steps, I put in the work. And the second thing is, I'm going to do whatever I can in order to keep it that way. Like, I know it seems like a lot, but it really wasn't hard just because I loved making music. The only problem is that I just never thought that I could make money from it. And now that I knew that I could make money from it, I just had to make more music, or at least that was like my mindset. So we just kind of kept rinsing and repeating. So after a few more releases on small labels, we were able to get the attention of a manager, and this manager had some decent connections. So he wanted us to go on tour, and he put us together with like a few other artists he was managing, and we hit the road together on our first ever tour across America. And as the saying goes, the rest is history. I went from making music in my bedroom to putting together a live show to tour the country, all within like the span of a year. So here's a picture of us playing one of our first shows. And I was so awkward on stage back then, but it was so fun. I didn't even care. This is in Isla Vista. Oh my gosh, good times. Also, thanks guys for that shout out. I'm glad that it's a good story. I am so inspired by it because it's my story and this is my truth. This is actually what happened. So yeah. Anyway, this is me a few years after that, and it's me and Josie playing at a festival in Chicago, I think. This is probably like 5,000 people or something, all just doing the hearts. This is, yeah, it's an epic photo. But since then, I've started 3 different 6-figure artist projects, or that's what I say, meaning that it was my personal artist project, and the artist project generated over $100,000. And the only reason I say that is just to show that, you know, this works over and over. But I've been able to rack up 100 million streams. I say that in some of my videos just to kind of initiate some credibility so you guys, you know, understand that I'm not just talking about this stuff. Like, I actually have made music that people enjoy listening to, and it's at the industry standard. I think it's probably at like 200 million streams now or something like that, but I don't check that often. I've been able to get paid to tour the world and perform for thousands of fans for the last 10 years, and I consider myself beyond blessed and fortunate to do what I do, for real. But the thing is, after all my years in this business, I have still noticed something missing. Like, for me in my story, I had to spend countless hours, like years and years, scouring YouTube, asking friends to try to learn more about how to make high quality music. Like, I didn't know how to make good music. I didn't know how to improve. There was almost nothing on YouTube at the time, and most of my learning was just through years of trial and error. Now, if I would have had a program that laid everything out, like everything I needed to know to make professional quality dance music without any prior experience or expensive gear or music school, that would have saved me years of trial and error. It legitimately would have completely changed my life for the better. And that's why I created EDM Producer Pro, which I'll talk a bit about later. That's the course that I've been working on that's just focused on dance music. And I've been working on it for 7 months now. So it's a lot. It's incredible, seriously. I wanted to provide all the teaching and tools that people need from the ground up to create consistent, professional quality electronic dance music at the industry standard. That's the goal. And really, it's the program that I wish I had when I was starting out, when I was trying to get from beginner to intermediate, and then from intermediate to advanced and professional. It sort of is like that whole line of progress there is like what the course is for and what I struggled the most with, especially going from intermediate to advanced. That was a big struggle. But the point of me saying all this is to let you guys know that I've been in your guys' shoes. I know how frustrating it can be, but also because of that, I actually know how to help you. So in EDM Producer Pro, I've made sure to cover everything you need, starting with foundational stuff like song structure and how to streamline your skills in Ableton. And then I move on to other stuff like songwriting, production, recording and producing vocals, mixing, mastering. It's just like everything. It's very, very comprehensive. So that way you can get your music up to the industry standard. And I could go on about like why the course is incredible and stuff, but I'd rather just show you guys first in Ableton how easy it is to make music using the tools and methods from the program. So I'm going to jump into Ableton in a second here, but sort of to explain all this to you guys, I'm going to use the 3 secrets. Get ready. We'll take a 10-second break here so I can drink a little bit more of this insane caffeine beverage. Everyone doing good? How you guys doing in the chat? Everyone good? Hey man, if you're scared about the future, join the club. But there are certain steps that you can take to at least try to build the future that you actually want, especially if you want to produce music. Stoked to be here. What's the name of your music project? That music project that I was mentioning was Candyland, so you can look that up on Spotify. I have a project called John Balaya. John Balaya. Yeah, so I do that. I also have a project called Dropout. That one's got some good streams. I have a project called Ethan C. Davis. I have a project called Mr. Popular. I have so many projects, guys. That's just like what I do. I start music projects and post them on Spotify. Oh, man. Okay. Ableton is loaded. Luca is so ready. I just want to shout out Luca. I'm glad you think Jambalaya is fire, because I think Jambalaya is so fire. And I'm going to put out a bunch more Jambalaya stuff. So let me get into the secrets so we can actually jump into Ableton and I can show you guys some stuff. So I think the secrets are going to make the most sense if I tell you what problems they solve. So we're going to start with like the lie, and then I'll tell you the secret. So there's a lot of lies and misinformation when it comes to making music, and it just sucks because so many people are capable and they don't even get started because they're believing some stupid lie about why they can't make great music. The first lie I hear people saying is that producing EDM is complicated and it takes a long time to learn. And the truth is, it's really simple. It's super simple, and there's actually just a few formulas that go such a long way. Like, they make everything so much easier. And the most important formula, I talk about it a lot in my videos, is what I like to call the 5-element formula, and this is a lifesaver if you follow this formula. It's like the hack for getting your song to sound full and professional and make sure that it doesn't sound like something's missing. So like if you're making a song and you're like, I can't tell what's missing, something's missing, like this is the formula to fix that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys exactly how to do that in Ableton. Everything is just drag and drop, and yeah, it's really simple. So let me go ahead and see if I got this hooked up right. All right, let's go ahead and make sure that we got sound. Let me know if you guys can hear this and if the level is okay for you. Can everyone hear that? Yeah, you watched that video. All right. I got the name Jambalaya because somebody said it at my old house, or they said Jambalaya, and we thought that they said Jambalaya, and I was like, that's such a funny name, so we just ran with it. Yep. What does W means win, right? W is like good. Dubs in the chat. I'm like so not aware of like chat culture. All right, we got Ableton. I'm ready to actually teach you guys. I'm so stoked about this. Seriously. So making dance music is super, super easy. Up here to the left in Ableton, you can set your BPM, which is just how fast the song is. And we can turn the click on here and listen. We're going to make a song at 125 BPM. So if you can drag and drop samples, you can make dance music. Like, it's seriously that simple. Here I have a complete, or it's an EDM Producer Pro sample pack that I made for the course. And I'll tell you guys a bit about how to get this at the end of the webinar, or at the end of this Ableton section right here. But I made all these kicks, and they're freaking fire. They're so good. But I'm just going to go ahead and drag a kick in. I'm going to highlight one beat like this and just press Command D. And I'm just going to duplicate this kick out like this. And now we have a kick pattern. Check this out. Right? So we got our kick. That's pretty solid. Now we need a clap. So we can go up here to claps, check through the claps. I like Chef's Kiss clap, is so good. I'm just going to drag that right in, and we'll put a clap on every other beat. Just like this. I'm just pressing Command D to duplicate. Let's see what it sounds like now. Yo! It's already a hit. If you don't know what BPM to go with starting off, just look up the BPM of another song that you're inspired by and go with that. Yeah. Some of you guys, apparently half of you guys haven't hit the like button. Get on it. I don't know if does that actually help more people watch the stream? If so, I would be freaking pumped about that. So anyway, we got our beat going. Next up, we got to find a hi-hat. So let's go ahead and go in the hi-hats here. Oh, what do we got? Yes, this is like this is the best hi-hat. Seriously, it's one of my favorites. Now the hi-hats go in between the kicks and the claps. So kick on every beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our claps on every other kick, and our hi-hats in between on the ands. And if you guys are confused by this, don't worry, I cover this stuff in other videos, and I cover this super extensively in the program. So we have our drum beat. Check this out. And if something sounds too loud in Ableton, you could just go to the right here in these rectangles, these blue rectangles, and just click inside and use the arrow keys, and you can turn it down. That already sounds so good. But yeah, for one, was this complicated? No. Like, it's just drag and drop. You just drag and drop samples in like that. And did it take a long time to learn? No. Like, you could absolutely open up Ableton and just do that right away. It's really not that hard. Just to answer the chat, as far as kick key, I don't think that it's super duper important. It just depends on how long your kick sample is. So if we shorten this like this, it has a lot of low end, but it's not actually like playing enough of a kick sample to play a note. So if you have a shorter kick, I would say that the key of the kick doesn't matter that much. Anyway, let me go ahead and go back to Keynote really quick. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you a bit more of like the 5-element formula and keep building the song out. But right before that, I just want to address another big lie that I hear, which is that you guys need to know music theory to produce music. And the truth is that you actually don't. Like, you don't need to know theory at all. In this day and age, you have MIDI chord packs, you have the fold feature in Ableton. Both of those are incredible ways to make music, you know, and make chords without actually knowing music theory. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back into Ableton, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use a MIDI chord pack to make some chords. So the first thing we want to do is we just want to press Command-Shift-T. It's going to make a new MIDI track. And then what we want to do is drag some sort of instrument onto the track. So I'm going to go to Instruments. I'm going to look through and Drift up here. This is all stock stuff that comes with Ableton, by the way. So you can follow along every step of the way. And maybe let's try this, Metropolis Bells. And if we click right up here to the right on this little keyboard icon, we can use our computer keyboard as a MIDI keyboard. Kind of sick. All right, so what a MIDI chord pack is it's pre-made MIDI. So it's pre-made patterns and stuff. And within EDM Producer Pro, I've provided a MIDI chord pack. And what you can do is literally just like, go ahead, like let's pretend that you just got it, right? And you have all these keys. You could just pick a key and go to progressions, or you can find individual chords. But I like progressions, I like patterns. And then you can just drag a pattern right in, let go, and then just press no. And now we have this. Check this out. Oops, let's go ahead and move this down an octave. Oh wait, actually, this sound is not going to work. Let's try something else like this. Yeah, there we go. We can go back to the previous octave. Yeah. Hey, it's like we already have a song. Man, MIDI chord packs are so powerful because you can literally just drag and drop, and it's like making a song on demand. But for this sound, we can actually make some adjustments here. There we go. I'm just tweaking a couple things just to kind of open it up a bit more. All right, what does it sound like with our drums? Hey! So far, you guys tracking? It's just dragging and dropping samples, making a drum pattern, and then just dragging and dropping a MIDI pattern like this from our MIDI chord pack. Don't worry too much about what I'm tweaking, just because I'm just adjusting the envelopes right here. So if you look right here where it says envelopes down at the bottom, there is a decay knob, and when you adjust that, it adjusts sort of the length of the sound that you're playing. All right, another thing we want to do is we want to sidechain this sound. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and go to Audio Effects, drag a compressor at the end of this, click this little arrow and click sidechain, and then route it to the kick, and click EQ, ratio all the way up, attack all the way down, click on this bent line, and we can adjust the threshold. I know this, I'm going quickly, but don't worry, I cover this in a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel. It's not complicated, and I also cover this a bunch in the course. But what we're doing right now is just making it so when this sound plays, whenever the kick hits, it's going to duck that sound in volume. So let me show you a really dramatic version by dragging this threshold down. You hear it ducking? So what this does is it makes it so we can sort of turn up the sound a bit, and it'll mix with the kick really well. right, that's sounding awesome. So what if we want to make something a little bit, well, actually, let's just add a bass. Before we do anything, Command-Shift-T, we're going to make a bass. I'm going to go ahead and press Command-C and copy this MIDI onto our new bass track down here. And I'm going to delete all of these higher notes. We just want the very lowest notes in each of these chords. Just like this. There we go. And let's go ahead and go to Instruments. And let's find some sort of bass that we can use. Let's see. We got a lot of options here. I think the one I'm looking for might be an instrument rack. Is it? Oh yeah, there it is. That's a freaking sick bass. Listen to this. Whoa, it's too high. So to bring stuff down an octave, you open up the MIDI clip and you go into the piano roll and you press Command A, select all the notes and hold Shift and press the down arrow. Yeah. Oof, that last note's a little bit too low. This is like freaking, this is house music. If I just play the drums and that bass. That's actually super sick. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this side chain and paste it on the bass. The MIDI chord pack I'm using is a MIDI chord pack that I made just for EDM Producer Pro students. This is the launch of EDM Producer Pro. So after I'm done building the song, I'll tell you guys how you can join the program. And with the program, you get the MIDI chord pack and the sample pack, which is super sick. I've been working my butt off on them. So they're actually good, so they're actually good and they make your song sound awesome. Right now, everything I'm doing is using the MIDI chord pack and the sample pack. But what I like to do for basses is I like to have one bass that's sort of like our regular bass, that's the main sound, and then I like to have a separate sub bass. So for our main bass right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and use an EQ in Ableton and just filter out everything below like around 100 Hertz. And then we have this second bass sound here. And on that, I'm going to use this hot swap feature. And then I'm going to go to simpler, bass, and B bass. This is the freaking thickest sub bass ever, let me tell you. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the sustain and decay. And now this is what the basses sound like together. So this is a really great way to make sure that your bass sound has a bunch of low end and sounds really professional, because otherwise your bass could sound thin. Maybe it sounds good on your laptop or your phone, but then you listen to it on like an actual sound system on like either a car, or you go to a festival, someone plays your track out and you're like, there's no low end. This is the way to get the low end. It's just having a separate sub bass like this. So go ahead and move this over. So let's pretend that we have like a regular kind of open happy section. I'm going to turn down this hi-hat a little bit. And then that's kind of like progressive house basics. But what if we wanted to do something a little bit more like tech house, like a cooler bass pattern? Let me just program something in right now. I want it to go like, well, let's see. What do I want it to do? We can do anything we want. Let's go. I want it to go, sorry. Do, 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 do. That's what I want it to do. Just give me a second to program this in, guys. It's kind of hard to see. Let me make it bigger. There we go. Let's see. What would the pattern be? We could probably go like man, I'm trying to figure out a pattern here. How you guys doing, by the way? Yes, you can make this in Live Light, but it is going to be better if you can get just the full version of Ableton, because there's just so many more features. With Live Light, you can only use like 16 tracks, but if that's all you can afford, like, don't let that stop you. You can make incredible music in Live Light. All right, I'm just gonna delete all this and just start from scratch here. Down. Oh yeah. Doom, doom. Do, 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 do. All right, let's try this as a pattern and see how it goes with our sub bass. Hey! That's actually kind of hot. All right, let's put that in at the end too. What does this pattern sound like? Okay. This is sick. Alrighty, we got our pattern here. There's one more thing I want to do with this pattern, and this is a little hack in Ableton for you guys. If you want your bass line to have a little swing to it, you can go to this groove area to the left down here. And you just click on this hot swap button right here, and then up to the left, you'll see this menu. There's all these different grooves you can implement. And what I like to do is I like to use this swing 16th 68. And if you click it, you can kind of hear the groove that it's going to apply. So you just double click on that and it'll put it on your bass track. And now we can listen. It has a little bit of swing to it now. So that is like a great way to get a little swing on your track here. And another thing we can do is we can kind of use this previous section of chords to sort of build. So we can go like this. Oh, and we can also put the swing on these chords too. And in Ableton, you can click up here to the right and enable automation. And that is a great way to sort of create a build and change something over time. Now I'm going to go ahead and add one more little snare drum just to kind of create some sort of build. I'm going to use our EDM Producer Pro sample pack. Let's go to snares. Ooh, builder snare, this is the one. I want it to go ba-ba-da, 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 ba. And to do that, I'm just going to program a little simple pattern like this and duplicate it. So it goes like. Yes, that's so sick. So if you need to know the key without theory, just look at the MIDI chord pack. Like right now, I just dragged in something from A major, F sharp minor. Right? These are relative keys. Doesn't really matter which one. They're both kind of the same key. I know super crazy theory people might freak out at that, but it's true. You know it's true. It's basically true. So if you don't know theory, yeah, you just need to utilize what the key from the MIDI chord pack says it is. So right now you can see it's an A major or F sharp minor. And the key of the bass, yeah, is extremely important. The bass has to follow the chords, or the bass at least has to. Sorry, I think the camera turned off for a second. The bass has to follow everything. Let me make sure I can. Okay, just making sure I can still hear my voice and you guys are good to go. Okay, sorry about all this. We are rocking and rolling here. Let's go ahead and just use a sweep. So I'm going to press Command T. I'm going to go to our EDM Producer Pro sample pack and drag in some effects. Let's see what we got going here. We have sweep. Yeah, let's drag a sweep in. Probably gonna have to turn it down a little bit, but let's see. So, all right, let's take the hi-hat out for the first half. So we just go ba-ba-da, 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 ba. Ah. All right, now we need some sort of vocal, like doing something like saying, it's lit. Let me just record this into my computer. It's lit. Here's our sample. It's lit. Bro, I don't know how I do it, but I just can't stop making absolute flames with this track. But yeah, just so you guys know, I know that I'm moving quickly, but all of these tools are available in Ableton, except for the sample pack, which is available with my program, and the MIDI chord pack, which is also available with my program. But all I'm using is like my samples and Ableton stock sounds right now, and it sounds like this. So let's go ahead and process this vocal saying that it's lit. Let's go ahead and add some reverb to it. I'm gonna go to reverb, hall, and cathedral. It's lit! Let's go ahead and put a compressor on it. It's lit! It's lit! There we go. It's lit! And then we'll also put a sidechain on it. Let's go drag this up like this. It's lit! It's lit! It's lit! It's lit! Hey! All right, now we can pitch it too. We can pitch it down using the pitch feature in Ableton. It's lit! Ooh, and then what we can do is have a little break here. So it's like, ding, ding. Let's see. Do, 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 do. So it's like. Yeah. Dude, the FM bass in Ableton is crazy good. Let's go ahead and add one more little high sort of sweeping sound and effects. Let's see, what do we got? We have, ooh, this one's good. Relax. So I'll have this come in right, let's see. Right here. So it's like. Sick. And we can also have, there's so many different things we can do here. Let's go ahead and do this. And you know what, guys? There's so many sounds in Ableton. We can even duplicate this bass sound and add something like, if we go to instruments and drift and bass, there is, I believe that there is, oh no, it's an instrument rack. Instrument rack, bass. Yeah, this is like such an iconic dance music sound. I'm gonna go ahead and move it up an octave. Hey. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and go to audio effects. This is such a hack right here. Multiband dynamics, OTT. I'm going to go ahead and drag these two sections down and just move these up. Wow. Is that the bit? That's the one I'm looking for, right? Let's see. Organ? Yeah, it is. Sounds like there's a build randomly in the middle of it. So let's just move that here. Sweet. Yeah, I am just cooking away here, just working on some house music. Been probably producing this for like 10 or 15 minutes. Here we go. Oh, I think actually we'll just have the kick come in here. Yeah, just like that. Just so there's a quicker break. And then we'll have this come in here, and we'll call it a day. Yeah. Sick. All right, sorry, I keep trying to save. Always save. You should probably start your project off by saving. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys quickly how to make something in Ableton. Just like that. And let me quickly get back into Keynote. Okay, so that is sort of secret number 2, which is to use MIDI chord packs. So the first thing is, it's not that complicated, right? You literally just drag and drop samples into Ableton, and you can also drag and drop in chord progressions and just build music like that. Like all making EDM is really just dragging and dropping a lot of the time. But there's a third big lie that I hear, and it's that like it costs a lot of money to make music. And the reality is you actually only need 3 things to make music. The first thing is you need a laptop. The second thing is you need a DAW, so a digital audio workstation, meaning Ableton, or if you have Logic, Logic is great. Pro Tools can work too. I mean, there's a bunch of DAWs. I just love Ableton the most. FL Studio is another great one. So you need a laptop, you need a DAW, and you need headphones. Boom. So if you're watching this on a laptop right now and you have headphones in, all you need is Ableton and you're good to go. I mean, most of you watching already kind of qualify just because you only need those 3 things. And Ableton has a 30-day free trial, so you can try it out, see if you like it, and go from there. But everything else you need, you can get for free for making music. And people think they need a ton of samples, a bunch of expensive software, synths, all that stuff. But there's a ton of free stuff out there, and it's really so good that you don't have to get the paid stuff. Like, I could build a whole career without using a single paid plugin outside of Ableton. So secret number 3 is to use the free resources available, because I mean, everything I've used in this Ableton session is free for you guys. Especially if you join EDM Producer Pro, then you can use the sample pack and the MIDI chord pack and all that stuff. There's also a synth called Helm that's totally free. That's incredible as well. If you want to use a third-party synth, that's free and great as well. Yeah. So if you have a laptop and you have headphones, then you can literally make professional EDM for free, especially with the Ableton free trial. So those are my top 3 secrets to making professional quality EDM with no prior experience. And the thing is, like, these secrets right here, these are what have allowed me to make music for a living for well over a decade. And I've been able to improve my craft to the professional level, and now it's literally my job to help other people do the same, which is, yeah, it's incredible. I feel so lucky to be able to do that. But the biggest thing that I see people, like, the biggest thing that stops people from making great music is literally just the fact that they believe they can't. That's the biggest thing. They're buying into some lie about why it's not for them because it's too complicated, or they don't know theory, or it's too expensive. Like, those are all lies. And I just demonstrated that it's actually really simple. Like, you watched me drag and drop stuff into Ableton and make this freaking house song. Like, I mean, obviously it's not like the most complicated song, but the point is that I'm just trying to show you how simple it is. And you don't need theory. I dragged in those MIDI chord packs so you could see how to do that, right? And it's not super expensive. Like, once you have a computer and Ableton, then you pretty much have everything you need. So yeah, I just want to make sure I cover that. Yeah, I just want to say all the tools are there. The biggest thing that you need is the information. Like, you need to learn how to use the tools, and you need someone to show you how to use the tools, which obviously that's kind of where I come in. So yeah, let me ask you guys a question. I've been teaching you for the last few minutes. I've been able to tell you a bit about how you can get your music to sound professional and really how to like piece a song together, and how I was able to use these secrets like in my career. Told you part of my story. But the thing is, this kind of context, these webinars are tough because, I can't I can't teach you everything in one like single 30-minute webinar session, right? But if I had a way to continue this conversation and kind of continue teaching you guys step by step, I'm just curious how many of you guys would be interested in that? Anybody? Lit. Yep, some of you guys out there have been putting this off for way too long. Seriously, it's not difficult to make dance music. You just need the tools, and you need to learn how to use the tools. So the reason why I asked that is because I put together EDM Producer Pro to help you guys implement all this stuff, like to give you the tools and to teach you how to use them. And yeah, so I want to teach you, like, I want to go way beyond what I just showed you right now. What I just showed you right now is just like to show you what's possible in a short amount of time. But let me go ahead and tell you guys what you're going to learn in the course and why it's been so effective. There's been a bunch of people that have already been taking it. All my Complete Producer Pro students got EDM Producer Pro for free, so they've been taking it. And I have, a lot of good feedback from them. So first and foremost, the most important thing is going to be the EDM Producer Pro Masterclass. And this is my flagship EDM course. I designed it specifically to teach you every single thing you need to know in order to make professional quality dance music from home with no prior experience and no music theory. I've been working on it since November, so it's taken months, thousands of dollars of planning and development to get it perfect. And I had to break down my entire process and the process of my most successful friends in music. Like, how do they do it? How do they do it? And how do I do it? How do we actually make music? How do I break that down in the way that you guys can do it too? And yeah, I had to make sure that I got every single step and detail in the perfect order so that everyone who takes this course can follow along through the videos and create expensive sounding dance music and eventually have complete freedom as an EDM producer. That's the goal. When you can get the ideas to come out of your head and go out of a pair of speakers, like when you can get what's in here to come out of these headphones, that's like when the second half of your life begins. That's what it was like for me. Seriously, it's like having a superpower. So let me run through the structure of the course. The first section of the course is the basics. It's the fundamentals. It's all about laying a firm foundation with song structure, drums, and how to write and structure an EDM song. So this stuff is like non-negotiable. If you want to learn how to make dance music, this is an absolute must. We have to build a firm foundation so that everything can stand on top of that and it doesn't come toppling down. So that's super important. The second section is all about music theory. Music is a language, and it's really helpful to learn how to speak that language, and you can tweak the MIDI chord packs and stuff the more theory that you know. But like I said, it's not absolutely necessary. It's more of kind of like a bonus section. It's there for those of you who want to dive deeper, but like I said, not totally necessary. And once you've gone through the firm foundation and music theory, then we're going to get really deep into things with production, of course. It's kind of like the main chunk of the course. And if you don't know why your music sounds amateur or unfinished, this section is going to help get you to where you actually want to be. And an easy way to think about production is basically all the different ingredients in the recipe. So it's all the different instruments and the layers that come together to make your song sound like a real song, and not just like a demo on SoundCloud or something like that. So after the production section, there's a module that I'm so proud of, which is a masterclass on EDM vocals. The thing is, so much of the time people can start putting together some cool loops, maybe even start structuring out a song, but vocals can totally change everything. And being able to record good vocals and process good vocals is an absolute must for any EDM producer who wants to be taken seriously. And that is my personal take on it. It's my personal opinion. You don't need vocals to make dance music. I just think that it adds a lot, and I really wanted to teach you guys how to do that. So that section is super comprehensive. I believe it's going to help you out so much whether you want to record other people or you want to record yourself and sing on your own music. I saw one of you guys in the chat, you said that you want to sing, but you struggle with your voice. I'm not a good singer by any means, but I can make my voice sound great through the way that I process it. And you could totally do the same thing too. It's so much, especially for dance music, it's so much about processing. And yeah, it's almost like I'm cheating. Like I could sing you a song right now and it would sound so average, but I could record a dance music song and sing on it and make it sound like $1,000,000. So that section, the vocals masterclass, is like indispensable in my opinion. I'm so proud of that section. And after the basics, theory, production, vocals, you'll be able to write and produce a complete EDM song. Yay! But then there's that last 25%. And that's where mixing comes in. And mixing is just making sure that every single element in your song sounds as good as it can in relation to all the other elements, right? I break down like my mixing process. It's only 4 steps. And that way you can follow along and use the exact same techniques that the pros use, so your music's going to be at the industry standard. I give you like my 4 steps for mixing, and then there's this final video that's going to help you go beyond your potential and actually grow as a mixing engineer as well. So yeah, that one's great. Once you know how to write and produce and mix your own music, there's one last little step before you can put it out and release it to the public, and that is mastering. And this is a mystery to most people because yeah, people are just like, what's mastering? And it can be a huge roadblock for up and coming songwriters and producers because most people have no idea what mastering is, why it's so important, and most importantly, how to master your own music. So I'll cover all this stuff in detail. You don't have to worry about any of the guesswork. And if I did my job correctly, you'll be able to write, produce, mix, and master unlimited EDM songs at the industry standard. That is the goal. Yeah. I think it's important too to stress that it's not just like a few videos that brush over some hot topics. This is over 70 comprehensive videos that are going to give you guys all the information you need on how to make dance music at an advanced level. So my YouTube channel, I have put out, I think, 35 videos, 35 or 40 videos. So this is like twice as many videos as my YouTube channel. And also there's a bunch of other stuff that comes with it I'm about to tell you about. But yeah, this is very, very comprehensive. And so many people are stuck at the beginner level or the intermediate level, and they're like, how do I move forward? And I believe wholeheartedly this is the course that's going to get you to the next level. And I can talk about this all day, but let me actually show you guys a couple people who've had the chance to go through the program. Like I said earlier, some people have actually gotten to go through it and give me some feedback. This is what my student Luke had to say after going through the program. I'm going to drink some water real quick. Okay. Let's get into it. These courses have helped me so much so far, and I feel like the more I watch and rewatch the videos, the more I learn, which is great. I loved hearing that because I'm like, this course has some replay value, which is really important. There's so many bits of gold in the course that have helped me evolve and upgrade as a producer. Anytime I've had questions, you've been a great resource for me to bounce ideas off of and learn from. Without this course, I wouldn't be nearly where I am as a producer. The format of the course allowed me to watch a video and then go and try it out in Ableton, which I felt allowed me to learn fast and directly apply the material. I was so stoked to hear this, guys. I can't even tell you. I worked so hard on the course, and sometimes you don't know how it's going to be received until someone actually takes it. But he went on to say, this trial and error way of learning also allowed me to explore and learn a lot on my own. I recommend both courses. He's talking about Complete Producer Pro and EDM Producer Pro, to anyone that sees themselves as an artist, is curious about music, or even wants to pick up a fun and limitless hobby. There's really so much to learn as a beginner, and it can seem overwhelming. I totally get that, remember, I've been in your shoes. But with the help of an organized system like this and a teacher like Ethan, you're giving yourself the opportunity to learn and grow. So for those of you who are just starting out in this journey, like, can you imagine what that would be like? If you could just go from not knowing the first thing about writing and producing to creating finished songs that actually sound professional and you can impress the people around you. I remember it was such a big deal to me when people started saying to me, they were like, you made this? I was like, yeah, I made this song. They're like, wait, you made this? There's no way. I was like, yes, I made this song. It's a very powerful experience, and I hope you guys give yourself the chance to experience it too. For real. So Luke was a beginner, but what about, someone with a little bit of experience under their belt, someone who's produced before, and they're trying to figure out kind of how to level up? That's where Max Life comes in. He's an artist already, so he's put some music out before, and I reached out to him and asked him to send me a review because after taking the course, the music he was making sounded awesome. Like, there's a huge improvement. And so what he said was, after searching dozens of online courses, trying to find the best one to help me mix, master, and produce EDM music, this is the only course that I've taken that was simple, straightforward, and took me from a beginner producer to being able to fully master and complete my tracks within just a few weeks. And then he went on to say, I already had a little bit of background in music, so that helped. It helped him understand a bit quicker maybe than just a total beginner, but there was no better teacher that I found out there than Ethan Davis, and I fully support and give my heartfelt recommendation for anyone looking to beef up their production skills to take this course. So yeah, the reason why I wanted to include what he said was just for those of you who've maybe been, you've been at it for a while at this point, and you're like, how do I level up? And I really believe that this course has so much potential to help you level up. It's like, go from beginner to intermediate, and then intermediate to advanced and professional if you want to keep going. Just checking this out really quick. Just making sure everything's running smoothly, that you guys can still hear me, and that the chat is okay. Okay, cool. All right. So that's the EDM Producer Pro. That's the EDM Producer Pro Masterclass. That's kind of a tongue twister, sorry. So yeah, I want to be able to take people even further than the masterclass though. You know, it's great. It's like 72 videos, I think. But for me, it wasn't just enough to provide instructional content. I wanted to be able to provide some form of mentorship for people to be able to ask me questions. So with EDM Producer Pro, I've provided a way for students to ask me questions throughout the main course, and then you can keep going even after you've completed the masterclass, and that's what I call personal mentorship from a pro. And what that means is I'm going to be regularly available via the private group I'm creating just for EDM Producer Pro students, and that way I'm able to answer any questions that you have and be able to help you guys keep going and keep improving even after you finish the videos. So this is like how I can help you guys just keep going and going and going and improving. So you'll have lifetime access to the masterclass. That includes all future content. Like when I launched Complete Producer Pro, it was probably like 40 videos, and now it's like almost 100 videos, I think. So I just have a thing where I like to keep building out courses. You know, I like to keep improving it and just adding value for you guys. So you'll have, you know, access to all the future videos that come out. And then you'll have mentorship from me, which is going to give you access to me for any questions that you have in your journey. And the next thing you're going to get after that is community. And community is one of the biggest things for growing in music and sort of, you know, making your dreams come true. And I can tell you from my Complete Producer Pro community that this community is going to be welcoming, it's going to be insightful, and a huge resource for inspiration and even feedback and collaboration. So yeah, I mean, having other people alongside you who are like in it with you, they're trying to learn, they're trying to grow too, that is such an important part of your musical journey. So I don't want you guys to overlook that, because not only does it create excitement, but you guys can like share music back and forth, and you can even share tips and tricks that you're learning and actually grow together, and you can learn exponentially, like way faster that way. So yeah, this is really something that I was lacking for a while when I first started. And yeah, once I started making friends, like music friends, I started improving so much faster. They taught me all these different tricks about like OTT, for example, that I just showed you. Like my friend just showed me that one day. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So yeah, that's why community is so important. So in the EDM Producer Pro package, you know, you're going to get the masterclass and the mentorship from me. Then you're going to have access to the private community. All that stuff will be with you guys every single step of the way. And on top of that, I actually have something else that I wanted to include for you guys. And since you've watched the training this far, you're going to understand why this one is so important. And that is the EDM Producer Pro sample pack. So if you guys don't know, this is like a sample pack is a bunch of royalty-free samples that you get to use in your music. You can use it on as many songs as you want. There's no royalties involved. You just use these drum sounds, use these effects and stuff, and drag them in and make your song sound amazing. It's seriously just like drag and drop. It's so easy. And yeah, I just recently added a ton of new samples. And yeah. Sorry, I got distracted reading the chat. Nathan said that, yeah, that I gave him feedback via audio message on his email. He's one of my Complete Producer Pro students. Shout out to you, Nathan. Thank you for saying that. And yeah, your song sounded awesome. Okay, so you're going to get the masterclass, you're going to get the mentorship and the community. And on top of that, I want to give you guys the sample pack. I mean, this is as much as I could think of, like, how can I possibly help somebody have the best shot at making the best music? And this is all the stuff I could think of. And then the last thing I forgot, the MIDI chord pack. This is incredible as well. There's so many ads for MIDI chord packs. I don't know if you guys get these on YouTube. They're like, oh, let me get a chord progression or whatever. And then it's like the new MIDI chord pack. And I was like, why don't I just include this for my students so they don't have to feel like they're missing out on anything? And like I said, I teach music theory in the course, but if you want to just drag and drop an awesome chord progression without thinking about anything and just kind of get inspired right away, this is like the way to do it. So I really, really wanted to include this for you guys. And this is, yeah, it's, to me, I like to call it like inspiration on demand. You could just drag and drop and get inspired and go from there. And if you have a great sample pack and a great MIDI chord pack, that's just like a recipe for incredible music through and through. Truly, these are like the biggest tools. So just to recap, when you get EDM Producer Pro, you're going to get lifetime access to the masterclass, personal mentorship from a pro, yours truly, access to the private community, which is going to be great. I cannot wait to build that out more and more as more and more people join. You're going to get the sample pack, and you're going to get the MIDI chord pack. Now, obviously, I'm not going to charge you guys over $4,000, although I do believe, honestly, that it's worth that much, especially after checking out the prices of like music schools and EDM schools. I'm like, this is ridiculous. People are charging so much for that stuff. But let me ask you guys something. What if EDM Producer Pro, like what if all it did was just give you the ability to make unlimited professional quality songs? Like without depending on other people. You could just sit down with an idea in your head and turn that into a fully produced, mixed and mastered song, ready for Spotify or Apple Music, or ready to like to DJ, play it out on a huge sound system. Would that be worth it for you guys? You don't have to hire anybody. You don't have to send it out for anyone to mix. You could just do it all on your own. Would that be worth it? Or what if all it did was get you to the point where like people actually took you and your music seriously? Like if you went from an amateur that no one really looks twice at to becoming sort of that expert in your hometown where people are regularly coming to you, they're asking you their music questions, or they're even asking you, hey, like, you know, can you mix this song for me? Or like, bro, how did you do that? Bro, how'd you make that sound? Like, would that be worth it for you? Or what if all it did was just save you years of time, like 2 years of time and $6,000 in music school? Because that's what you're up against if you're gonna try to go kind of the more traditional route. Like if I give you the foundation to launch your career as an artist or producer and do that with a mentor and a community that you can follow along with every step of the way, would that be worth it for you? I want to show you guys something really powerful, really quick. So if you don't know how to make music at all, you can actually pay people to make music for you. I know because I've been on the other side of it. I've been paid to make a lot of music for a lot of people. And let's just say maybe you kind of know, you can come up with an idea a little bit, but you need to hire a producer to finish your song or even to produce your song. If you want a mid-level producer, like not even someone who's at the top level, they're usually going to charge around $1,500 to produce a song for you. I know this because I charge this much and a lot more for years and years. And after you get your song produced, it's like, now you got to get it mixed. That's a different step of the process. And if you're working with a mixing engineer who's any good, they're going to charge at least $400 to do a song. This is just like, I think this might even be below industry standard. I was going to say this is industry standard, but I think it's below. And once it's produced and mixed, you're going to want to make sure it's mastered. That's like the final step that I talked about earlier. That's at least $100 if you want someone who's half decent. So yeah, what's the grand total just to finish one song if you're going to have like outsource it, pay for other people to do it for you? It's $2,000. And that's not to mention waiting for the producer and the engineers to get back to you, going back and forth. It's like, it's such a big headache. And like I said, I'm not making these prices up. These are prices that I've charged for years, and I've charged a lot more than this. And it's just to give you guys an idea that this is how much it costs if you don't want to do it yourself. But it's not that hard to do it yourself. I just showed you that. So what if you could do it all yourself? Like what if you didn't have to use anybody else and you could just make as many songs as you want, and you could actually finish as many songs as you want, which a lot of people struggle with finishing stuff. Yeah, best of all, you wouldn't have to pay anyone, and you could literally just save thousands of dollars. And you wouldn't have to wait for anyone either to like finish your song for you. You could just do it on your own. So the true price of a finished song is usually $2,000. We've established that. But if I give you guys the ability to make unlimited songs, like professional quality, then it would at least be worth a few grand, right? Like 3 or 4 songs for $2,000 a song is over $5,000. So for EDM Producer Pro, I priced it at $597. But since you guys are on this webinar, I want to give you guys an exclusive discount. You know, you sat through the whole training. I know that you're interested, and I want to help you. I want to help you turn your dreams into your reality, because that's what's happened in my life. I want to give you guys the chance to make that happen in your life for real. So I'm going to give you guys a 50% discount for this like launch event right now, so that it's $297. Let me make sure that I make all this stuff active so you guys can actually join. Just give me about 10 seconds here. All right, cool. Let's make sure that this works. There is a link in the description of the video. And let me just check to make sure that it's working. All right, cool. And it looks like we're good to go. Where is there? All right, I'm gonna drop this in the chat. So yeah, basically, if you're watching this, you can get the discount. I really thought this through, guys. I've really been working on this course for the last 7 months. It's like led me to have like just almost a couple breakdowns, because I'm like, just spending so much time on making it good for you guys. But the reality is I just didn't want you guys to have any excuses as to why you can't make professional quality dance music right now from your own home. Like, you could do this right now from your own home. And this discount's going to be available till the webinar is over, and it's just going to be a few more minutes. And once again, it's just for the first 20 people who join. It'll be $297 for you guys, which is 50% off, $300 off. And just go to the link in the description of the video. I also dropped the link in the chat. And yeah, just enter your details. And then the next part is really important. When you're signing up, make sure that you select the launch price so you get the discount. I wouldn't want you guys to, watch through the whole training and then miss the discount. That would just suck. And once again, that's just for the first 20 people who join. So I want to make that really clear. I also wanted to include something for the first 20 of you guys. I want to give you guys one-on-one feedback. So yeah, Nathan reached out in the chat before saying that I sent him, an audio message reviewing his song. That's the kind of feedback that I'm talking about. So basically, if you sign up, you're one of the first 20 people who sign up, then you can send me up to 3 songs whenever you want. You can spread them out if you want. And you'll just email me the song, and then I'll listen through and I'll break down all my thoughts for you and all the ways that I think that you can improve it. And I think for some of you guys, this is going to be super, super valuable. Like, having a professional ear and having somebody who kind of understands where you've been and how to improve, I think is really valuable. So yeah, I would definitely consider that. If you want my personal feedback on your music, that's going to be available for those first 20 of you guys as well. So yeah, let's say you joined today and you watched through some of the course and you realize, like, okay, this is actually great, maybe, or it's just too overwhelming. There's too much information. I don't have the time to apply it all. No worries at all. I do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's on all my courses, all my products. It's kind of an ethical thing for me. I just don't want to, I don't want you guys to pay for something that you're not going to use. So there's no risk for you. Sign up today, and if you don't like it at all, literally for any reason, even at the end of day 30, like right up to the last minute, just let me know. I'll give you your money back, no problem. And I'll even let you keep the sample pack and the MIDI chord pack just as a gift to you. So I wanted to get that in there just so you guys know that if I can't help you, then I'm not trying to take your money. I just want you guys to pay for something that's actually going to help you and you're actually going to use. So yeah. At this point, you really just have 2 choices, right? Option number 1 is you could do nothing. You cannot take this leap of faith. I've just showed you it's 100% risk-free. You can keep living your life the way it is. And you can always wonder what it would have been like if you said, I'm actually going to go for it. Or there's option number 2, which is where you go for it. You put up a small investment today and you actually give yourself a shot in this industry and a shot to make this whole music thing happen in your life. And I'm going to be straight up with you guys. So many people have so many BS excuses for why they can't make it in music or why they aren't succeeding. But the truth is, you can't get anywhere without taking the first step. And as far as becoming successful in music and making your dreams come true in this arena, this is that first step for you. Or maybe you've been making music for a while, you're stuck trying to figure out what's next. This is that next step for you. And once again, the options are, you could do nothing at all. It's not a big deal. It's just your life stays the same. It doesn't really change. Or 2, you could take action. It's risk-free. And you can actually make something happen in your life. Wouldn't that be incredible if you just had the freedom to make professional quality music that people actually took seriously? I don't know. For me, that was a really big deal. For people that actually take me and my music seriously, that was so important to me. So I figure there's at least a few of you guys out there who feel the same way. But really quick, this wouldn't be complete without my favorite Henry Ford quote that I got to share with you guys because I think it's really important and it really changed my life. So the quote goes, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." What if the only thing between where you are now and all your dreams coming true is that little lie that says you can't? It's you can't make a good song. You can't produce something that sounds like a pro did it, or you can't mix very well and you're just never going to succeed in this business. Whatever it is, honestly, it doesn't really matter because it's just a lie, straight up. And the thing is too, I used to believe so many of these lies. They're just little lies that just sneak in. But when I changed my beliefs about this stuff, when I changed the word can't into the word can, there was such a big shift that happened in my life. But the thing is, I didn't just change the word, right? I changed my belief in what I was capable of. And I started saying things like, maybe I can make good music. Maybe I just need to put more time into it. Or maybe I can produce professional quality songs. I just need to get the right information and have somebody who can come alongside me and actually help me. And I changed my belief, but the difference was that I actually started taking action and started putting the work in. And that's when the results followed. So yeah, taking action is like obviously super important. Otherwise, nothing happens, nothing changes. So yeah, that's what happened in my life. I'm trying to make the same thing happen for you. Yeah, I'm ready to teach you guys. Like, I'm ready to help you. I think the real question is, like, are you ready for this to happen in your life? Are you ready to start turning, you know, these ambiguous music dreams into your actual day-to-day reality? Because you can't. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. And in order for that to happen, you have to take action. And the sooner you take action, the sooner you start growing and improving and actually turning those ideas and dreams into your reality. So, yeah, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. You're the one who gets to choose. And yeah, that's as much as I'm going to say about that. I really want to encourage you guys that you have what it takes. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to move forward, just go ahead and click join and you'll get that 50% discount. I just checked the link and it should be good. It should be working. I know a lot of you guys are, yes, by the way, $297 is lifelong. Absolutely, $10 a month. Yeah. And guys, I know that for some of you guys, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cheap. That's like nothing. Are you kidding me? But for others of you guys, you're like, that's so expensive. And the reality is, like, I've had to invest in different programs along the way to help me improve too. And you put up an investment and it feels uncomfortable at first, but you put so much more into the program when you put up an investment like that, and you get so much more out of it. And also too, like, the mentorship and the private community and the sample packs and everything, this is like the lowest that I could price it at and actually like justify everything that you're getting and try to make it accessible for you guys to join. So yeah, once you've officially joined, by the way, for those of you who are joining, just go ahead and watch the introduction video. I'll explain how to join the private community and download the sample pack and the MIDI chord pack and all that. You can get started right away. And I only have a few minutes left. I'm going to go through some of the most common questions I get, hopefully clear the air for some of you guys. And feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat. I'll do my best to answer those. And also, real quick, don't forget that that 50% discount is just for the first 20 of you guys who join. There might already have been 20 of you guys who joined. I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that. But yeah, it's available for the next 13 minutes. I put a countdown timer there just to show you when I'm going to wrap things up so you don't miss out on that discount. All right. So let's start with the first question. Do I need Ableton? The reality is no, you don't need Ableton. It's my recommendation. And in my opinion, it is the best one out there for this type of stuff, especially for dance music. You could use Logic. You could even use FL Studio and go through all the modules. And you could still apply all this information to different DAWs, right? Some of the maybe synth plugins and sounds are going to be a little bit different, but all the concepts still apply. But if you haven't picked a DAW yet, or you're already working in Ableton, you're good to go. But if you haven't picked, I would advise going with Ableton. There's a 30-day free trial, so you can, try it out risk-free, and you can try out the course risk-free. So you could just like join right now, do all this stuff for 30 days, see if it's your thing or not, and if it's not, just like get your money back and don't buy Ableton. Like, there's no risk in that. The risk is that you put a little bit of time into potentially like becoming a music person or actually getting to that next level if you're feeling stuck. So yeah, I just want to get that in there because it's important. So I think it's kind of a no-brainer. Just go for Ableton if you don't have something picked out. I have students who are in Complete Producer Pro. I teach that whole course in Ableton, and I have students who use Logic, and they're making incredible music. So if you work in another DAW, don't let that stop you. All right, let me check the chat really quick for any questions. Xenia, I absolutely recommend Complete Producer Pro as well. It's up to you. Complete Producer Pro comes with EDM Producer Pro. And for those of you guys who are joining EDM Producer Pro, you have the option to buy Complete Producer Pro after as at a huge discount. So just throwing that out there, Xenia. Something to keep an eye on. And yeah, I just started the course, even the theory after watching a few times, got easy and easier. Yep, absolutely. Right. For the course in terms of the content that I cover. I'm making a progressive house song, but all these concepts can be applied to any genre. And then I'm also going to be adding some mini courses. So you guys can actually have a say in building out the program and kind of figuring out where it goes from here. I've been doing mini courses for Complete Producer Pro, but I really want to do those for EDM Producer Pro as well. And price it $1 for Pride Month. Oh man, I would love to just price it for $1 Pride Month. That would be insane. But yeah, there's people who charge 10 grand for a production course in London, and I'm sure that course is great too. But like, if you just want to learn everything that you actually need to know, then yeah, this is it, seriously, for you, without having to drive anywhere or spend a ton of money. Is the feedback in the Facebook group or email? Do I offer one-on-one coaching calls? I don't offer one-on-one coaching calls, but I do offer one-on-one emails where I send you voice memos and I can give you feedback on your songs. So for EDM Producer Pro, like I said, for the first 20 of you guys who join, I'm going to give you feedback on 3 of your songs if you want. So you can send those to me just throughout the time that you're taking the program. Show me your work and I'll give you feedback on those. For Complete Producer Pro, you have unlimited feedback on stuff, but that's kind of a more premium item as well. But that comes with EDM Producer Pro. So, okay. Yeah, they do throw you all in a Facebook group and post there. It's actually, it's this new group that I'm trying out. It's not on Facebook, but it's like a private community and it's really fun. I'm going to like gamify some stuff for you guys. I check in there regularly all the time to make sure that everyone's like, their questions are answered. And then you guys can also reach out to me one-on-one via email as well. I'm pretty darn good about, paying. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. It's really hard for me to read the chat and respond at the same time. People have to get transfer this because music production quicker to sound engineer. Yeah, absolutely. Vikas wants a shout out. There you go, buddy. What is added in Complete Producer Pro? Complete Producer Pro is like, it's another, I think it's like 80 something videos, or might be 90 something videos. And that is like how to make all music. So it's not just EDM. This is like just EDM specific. But this is like the cream of the crop when it comes to EDM stuff. And as far as Complete Producer Pro, it's not only how to make any genre of music from beginning to end, but then there's also a section on advanced production, and there's also a section on music as a business, and that's how to turn your music into a source of income for you. So that's like the big course within Complete Producer Pro. EDM Producer Pro is part of it, but you know, not everyone wants to learn music business. Not everyone wants to learn how to make a pop song, let's say. So they just want to make dance music. That's what EDM Producer Pro is for. And yeah, I've just packed as much value as I can into this. Powerful CPU or Mac Mini better? I would say anything with the M1 system is pretty darn good. M1, M2, M3, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Anyway, we just have a few minutes left. Let's see if I can get through a few more of these questions. Oh, on your phone, having trouble finding the link. Let me drop it in the chat for you again. Let me know if you're able to get to that. And yeah, I guess the link isn't in the description. I tried to put the link in the description, but yeah, if it's in the chat, get to that. I'll also just say what the link is. It's completeproducerpro.com/EDM. completeproducerpro.com/EDM. I could probably put a link on the slide. I don't know if I can adjust the slide in the middle of the video. I don't want to mess it up, but I am not going to cover business for EDM in EDM Producer Pro. At this point, that's kind of like a separate thing for Complete Producer Pro. That is just for that course. But we can talk more about it. I can still answer your questions that you have about music business and give you some recommendations and that sort of stuff. A good headset at a reasonable price range is going to be these guys right here. I believe it's the Sennheiser HD300 Pro. I think that's what it is. It should be about $200. If that's too much for you, you can get the 200 Pro. I think that's like $100. So yeah, how long does the course take to go through? It takes about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on sort of the pace that you set for yourself. And yeah, that's kind of the main section of the course, and I'm going to be adding some mini courses and stuff like that. But the core portion of the course is designed to take 6 to 8 weeks. And yeah, you guys get lifetime access to everything else that's going to come later. So it's like one fee now, it's one investment now, and then everything else you'll get for free later. And once again, it's $297 for the first 20 of you guys who joined during this webinar. And I just want to remind you, it's going to give you access to the masterclass, and you're going to get the personal mentorship from a pro, and access to the community, and you're going to get the sample pack and the MIDI chord pack. So yeah, and oh yeah, and I'm going to give you guys feedback on 3 of your songs. For those of you who decide to join during the webinar, all right, we just got 5 minutes left. I think I pretty much covered this question pretty extensively. What if I don't have any prior experience? It could be scary, guys, to have this dream of like wanting to be a DJ or producer and you don't know the first thing about making music. You're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? You know, where do I even start? But like I showed you earlier, guys, this program is designed for you to learn everything like from the ground up, starting at square one. So, you know, foundational stuff, music theory, songwriting, producing, mixing, mastering, literally everything that you guys need. And if you remember some of the reviews I read earlier, there's people who've had hardly any experience that were making finished high quality songs by the time they were done with the core portion of the course. So to answer the question, it doesn't matter if you don't have any prior experience. Doesn't make a difference either way. It's just going to be step by step, and you can just follow along from beginner all the way to advanced. So yeah, that's why the course is so effective for people who are at the intermediate level as well, because it can like not only build a more solid foundation where maybe you've kind of missed some stuff or built like on some weak production principles, but it'll also take you way beyond that as well. So yeah, let me go ahead and check the chat. All right. Braden Simmons, there should be a link. I don't know if YouTube will penalize me for spamming a link in the chat. I also don't know if I can add a link in the description of the video. I will put a link in the description of the video as soon as I can. Maybe I can just do that right now. But I want to answer some more of your guys' questions really quick. The 300Ds will work well, yeah, for DJing as well. They're like, these things are just like, mwah, chef's kiss. Some of my favorite headphones. They're super, super affordable. Yeah, so anyway, I have 0 experience, but I joined. I'm sure Ethan will teach everything there is, because, yeah, absolutely. I will teach you. I will teach you as much as I can. I don't have a good Korg M1 alternative. As far, I think Launch Key, I think is what it's called. They make good MIDI keyboards. I don't worry too much about it. Really, anything that works will do the trick, as long as you're not playing anything super like fancy piano ballads. What big artists you worked with? I haven't worked with that many big artists. I did some stuff with Matoma. I did a lot of stuff, actually. I signed a lot of NDAs and did a lot of ghost production that I can't talk about. But suffice to say, I am an expert at producing dance music, and I've put all this information into EDM Producer Pro for you to learn the easy way, because I had to learn it all the hard way. No way around that. All right. Hey, just say thanks for this fishing and for info. You've already given me other videos. Thank you. I absolutely love to inspire you guys. You know, honestly, the reality is, whether you join or not, I hope that you make music. Like, it's just an incredible thing to be able to get what's in your head to come out of a pair of speakers, sit down after a long day, and just lose yourself in some freaking awesome progressive house, or some tech house, or some dubstep, or some trap. Like, it's such a good outlet. It's so cathartic. It feels so good on a deep level in your soul. So yeah. What gear do I need to get started? That is just going to be the classics. Like I said, headphones, a laptop, and Ableton. That's literally all you need. You can build up more from there. You can get an interface. You can get a microphone, that kind of stuff. But for dance music, I would just keep it simple. You can also get a MIDI keyboard as well. Yes, I remember Darude, Sandstorm. Yeah, that's an incredible song. We actually made a remix of it back in the day, and it blew up on SoundCloud. That was like one of the things that helped me kind of progress my career. And I remember Showtek as well. I played a festival with him in the Netherlands, and it was pretty fun. So, do I need years of practice? I mean, I hope, guys, at this point this is clear. You don't. The answer is no. Like, you just, the more time you put into it, the better your music is going to get. But the tools, like in this day and age, whoops, am I back? I don't know why the camera keeps going out. The tools in this day and age are so much better than they've ever been. It's so much easier. So yeah, it's just kind of a no-brainer. Everything's there for if you actually want to learn how to do it. But I had somebody drop a question. I've made a beat, but how do I turn that beat into a song? Like, they make a loop and they're like, how do I turn this loop into a full song? And that's actually one of the first things I cover in EDM Producer Pro. There's 5 videos in the fundamentals section that talk about song structure. Song structure is like everything when it comes to EDM. And how do you get like this 8-bar loop and turn it into a full song, right? So yeah. And the answer to that really is like references. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's so many other songs that have been successful, and you can just copy the song structure. You're not copying the chords or the melodies, you're not just totally ripping them off, but you could just utilize their song structure in your song, and yeah, I think your song's going to turn out incredible if you do that. It's kind of a no-brainer. All right, let me just check the chat really quick. Okay, you have good arrangements. Thank you. I actually put a lot of thought into my arrangements. Do you know if any other Complete Producer Pro compatibilities with Ableton Live Lite? No. There's no incompatibilities. You can definitely use Ableton Live 10 for Complete Producer Pro as well. And yep, if Catchweir, if that is something that's a problem for you, then this is like, yeah, this course will break you through that wall. Because it's tough, it's like you get a loop, oh, timer's up. You get a loop and you're stoked with it, and then it just kind of falls apart because you're like, how do I turn this into a song that's actually interesting? So I totally get it there. No worries at all. I totally addressed that. Mix Factory, what are you getting for $297? You're getting the Complete Producer, sorry, this says Complete Producer Pro. You're getting the EDM Producer Pro Masterclass, which is, over 60 videos, and it's everything I know about how to make the best dance music possible. That is like, that's the best that I can do for you. The most I can teach you when it comes to dance music. Then the personal mentorship for me is I'm going to be available in the private community to answer any questions you have. And then I'm going to be available for the first 20 people who are signing up from this webinar. I'm going to do one-on-one feedback for you guys via email. So you can send me 3 different songs, and I will send you a voice memo. I'll listen through your song, and I'll give you everything that all the ways that I think you can improve it. So yeah, that's the personal mentorship. Then obviously you're going to have access to the community. It's a private group just for the students of this course, and we can create, the point is for it to be a resource of inspiration and information for you. So that's the idea with the private community. And then you get the Complete Producer Pro sample pack, which is just a bunch of great dance music samples for you to make some EDM, and the MIDI chord pack, which is just like inspiration and chord progressions on demand. So that is the goal with that. That's what you're going to get for $297. Hopefully I've made that totally clear. There is a 30-day refund policy, like I said before. All I need now is a laptop to make music with good software in order to make music. Hopefully then I can be famous. Absolutely. If that's your goal, that's all you need to do it. You just need to do that and put a lot of work in, of course. I will send you an email if you join and you're in the first 20. I will send you an email, I believe, to let you know that you get the free feedback and all that stuff too. So anyway, I'm going to drop the link one more time in the chat, and then I have to go pee so badly because I've just been freaking chugging this caffeine. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for watching so much. I'll do about 30 more seconds for any last minute questions, and then yeah, then we'll wrap it up. And if you have any more questions, you can just contact me directly. Just reach out to me at ethan@completeproducerpro.com. Can we see the YouTube plaque? Yeah, I'll show you the YouTube plaque. If I send a song via email and you send feedback, can I send you the fixed new version without consuming any of the feedback slots? Yeah, that's totally fine. I'm not like, I've given my students in Complete Producer Pro unlimited feedback, and I'm not like so overwhelmed and inundated with feedback stuff. Like I'm pretty easygoing with this stuff, so I wouldn't overthink it too much. Here we go. Let me just show you the 100,000 subscribers plaque. This is la, 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 la. Anyway, that's the plaque. It's exciting. I mean, it's cool to have something like that is memorable, that is a commemoration of my hard work. All right, so if you guys have any more questions, just reach out to me there, and I will, yeah. I have tried to get the Ableton 12 discount thing for students. I've reached out to Ableton so many times, and they haven't gotten back to me. So yeah, I've really tried. But yep, if you guys have any other questions, shoot me an email. And I'm going to wrap this thing up because I have to pee so bad. But seriously, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're struggling with making dance music, this is the best option that I can recommend for you. And it's going to teach you everything you need to know to make professional quality dance music from home with no prior experience and no music theory. More than anything, make sure to stop making excuses and start making music. Cheers.